What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. On today's episode of the Level 1 podcast, it's very chill. We'll be talking a little bit more and following up on my brand new controller, which I tested for an entire day yesterday, to very interesting results that I'd like to share with all of you because I felt like in some ways this controller was absolutely exceptional. But at the same time, we had a weird thing going on in a particular game. So maybe if we talk about it, we can try to figure out what the heck is happening. In addition, we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule this week because I've decided 2 days this week to not do a podcast, to have extended gameplay similar to what we did last week, with Doom: The Dark Ages. So we'll have that plus some interaction and good times, all this and more on today's epic episode of the Level 1 podcast. Who doesn't like that intro? How you all doing today? Welcome to the show. I'm DSP. I hope that you're all doing well. Today is Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. We are getting very close to the launch of the Switch 2 and to the month of June. And if you're not aware, the month of June is going to be absolutely insane for gaming. We've got not only the Switch 2 launch with Mario Kart World, we've also got a huge update for Street Fighter 6 featuring a new character, Elena, and a huge rebalancing. We've got Summer Game Fest, which always has tons of information about new games coming out, including tons of new release dates. We've got the Xbox Showcase that's going to feature a big expose on Outer Worlds 2, but many other games as well. And the rumor has it, we're probably going to have information from Sony and Nintendo over the course of the month. And June is a game-heavy month. So for those of you who are big fans of gaming like me, and we are waiting, we're like, when is the big exciting stuff happening? When is it coming? It's right around the bend. Give it like a week and a half, and we're going to be inundated and just overloaded with gaming goodness. We're not there yet. The good news is we're in the midst of so much great stuff outside of that the wait won't feel too bad, right? We're going to have so much awesome ongoing gameplay, chill vibes, and good times here on DSP Gaming that it won't matter that we got to wait like 2 weeks for all the good stuff, right? So I hope that you guys are excited. I am, all right? Today is going to be a fun day, a good variety of stuff on my streams today, starting off with more blueprints, which actually has picked up a lot and had tons of advancement since I brought it back to being a daytime stream and now having all these puzzles and things being unraveled that we've had for like 20 hours and scratching our head wondering what they meant. We're getting all of our answers all of a sudden. And tonight, more awesome retro fighting game fun with Capcom vs. SNK 2 in the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Can't wait for that. It's been so much fun to try new characters, new grooves. I'm actually being told that P groove is ridiculously good in this version of CVS 2, that they added super canceling. If you don't know what that means, in Street Fighter 3, it added in this ability that if you hit someone with a normal move, you could cancel it in a 2-in-1 combo into a special move. Now, that's nothing new. But also in Street Fighter 3, after that special move, you can cancel that special move into a super. So basically, it's kind of a hit confirm, making sure that the super is going to connect, and it does big damage. Like some of the bread and butter combos of Street Fighter 3. With certain characters are these super cancel moves. And this was not present in the P groove or parry groove of Capcom vs. SNK 2 in its initial form. For whatever reason, it was an inferior version of P groove and parrying. They didn't have super cancels. They added it to this, and now apparently it's much better. So people are saying that this is like really good, and I might try it out tonight. I'm debating like what characters in the game could really benefit from like a super cancel. So I'm trying to think about that. And also Jasper Kitty is very eager today to be a part of the festivities. He's missed all of you. He hasn't been in here since last week. How you doing, Jasper? Jasper boy, what's going on? What's on your mind today, buddy? Jump scare cat? Hasn't jump scared us in many years. The last time he jump scared us, I was playing Ultra Street Fighter 2 on freaking Switch. You know, what was that, like 6 years ago? Something like that, 7 years ago. He's a good kitty. Anyway, good to see you here, buddy. So I hope that you're all in good spirits and doing well. I am. All right, yesterday was a great streaming day. We started off yesterday with a fun stream of Clear Obscure Expedition 33, where we finished up the optional Ice and Fire dungeon. I have a piece of cat hair in my mouth now. And it was very challenging. Let me tell you, the only way to survive this dungeon was by essentially parrying everything, but his hair won't get off my tongue. Did I get it that time? I think I got it that time. So it was very challenging. We got it done. We did. We actually beat the whole dungeon, including the final boss, which was very difficult. And now we're back to the main game, which is what people were yelling at me to do for the last several streams. When we play Clear Obscure again, we'll actually be continuing on with the main plot, okay? Last night was Minecraft in a very chill stream, and it was great because we actually made significant progress. We returned to the caves, and in the caves, we were able to get a ton of resources, including iron, diamond, and more. And now we're going to use that to make a whole bunch of equipment. Careful, buddy. Don't slip. Don't slip. You were slipping. And that's going to allow us to now head out and explore the world. The problem was we couldn't head out until we had sufficient equipment, and now we're going to have it. So the next few Minecraft streams might actually be pretty exciting because we're going to be exploring rather than just staying around, the homestead. So that was good. Now, yesterday, first stream, we raised over $100, but didn't hit the support goal for Clear Obscure. Now, listen, I'm not going to get super upset or anything at all. Why? First of all, we've been playing Clear Obscure for over a month, and every time we played it, we've hit the support goal except yesterday. So the fact that it slowed down after a month is not shocking, but at the same time, it does suck that it's something that we were doing all the time consistently, and it seems to have run out. I am hoping that when we play it again later this week, because I'll be doing the main story stuff again, we will get back on track and hit a goal. Last night, for Minecraft, was the opposite. We had last stream last week not hit a support goal. In fact, it was a very under-supported stream. Last night, we hit the goal and exceeded the goal. So I keep telling people this because people are saying stuff like, Phil, well, when you play Blueprints, attendance is very low and Clear Obscure's videos aren't getting any views. It's like, you gotta understand something. It's not about the views. It hasn't been about views in a long-ass time, okay? Video views on YouTube are pretty much just nothing. Doesn't matter. You understand? I don't get paid a lot of money for ad revenue on YouTube. I never did since like 2017. It's been like 8 years since ad revenue mattered. You know what I mean? Not to say that it doesn't exist. All I care about is that we have a good time together on streams. People enjoy the content, engage with the content, and then we'll support the content. Now, I understand that not every stream can we hit a support goal. And I also understand that certain games are going to have less attendance because, let's be honest, Blueprints is a puzzle game. How many people out there love puzzle games? Well, I do if it's a good, unique one, but not everyone. They're not for everyone. A lot of people just like action, action, action. Same goes for Clear Obscure. A lot of people like Clear Obscure, but then either are playing it for themselves or they're waiting for the next action game. And by the way, we're going to have action later on this week with Elden Ring Night Rain, okay? So I don't have to worry too much about that. I'm not concerned with the fact that, some views are down on certain streams, The fun part is when I do play something that's more interesting, we do get the viewership back too. Like today on the podcast, I guarantee you we have like 100 viewers, and it'll gain over the course of the show, but it's not a big deal because we're playing Blueprints and I get it. Now, when I play Night Rain later in the week, we'll probably have way more people, and that's okay. You see, it's all good. But people like to try to say the sky is falling and freak out about stuff. I've been doing this for over 15 years. The sky is not falling. Everything is actually quite good right now, quite frankly. And I'm enjoying myself, and everything we're doing is working out. So I'm not worried in any way, shape, or form. Trust me, I'll let you know if there's a reason to be worrying. And right now, there isn't. Right now, we've got so much great stuff going right around the horizon, right? We've got, like I said, next week, we've got Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, if I can get it. We've got Street Fighter 6 update. We've got a big Summer Game Fest event that's going to announce a ton of new games and stuff. We're going to have an Xbox showcase. We're going to have new games over the course of June, including, what is it, Mind's Eye? Is Death Stranding 2 in June? There's a ton in June, and I haven't even looked at the release calendar in so long, but I know for a fact that there's a bunch of stuff going on in June. Excuse me. Yeah, we got Mind's Eye. I was right. Death Stranding 2. Absolutely. So we're going to have like 1 to 2 new games at the beginning of the month, 1 around the middle, and 1 near the end. I mean, it's tons of new games going on. So I'm not concerned. Things are going very well, and I hope that you guys are excited for all the new stuff. Also keep in mind that there is the possibility that I could play Onimusha 2 whenever I want. So if we happen to get a lull in the gaming, and we're like, oh man, we need something new for the rotation, we could always bring in Onimusha 2, okay? So that's good too. So thank you all. Let's talk about what I was working on all day yesterday, and then what we'll do. Actually, what we should do? We want to talk about the schedule. Let's just get the schedule out of the way so you guys know what it is. Let's do it very quickly, okay? So schedule-wise, here's what we're looking at for the rest of the week. What did I just hit? That's what I wanted to hit. Here's what we're looking at for the rest of the week in a nutshell. Today, Blueprints and CVS 2 on the late stream. Tomorrow, there is no podcast. We're basically this week going to do exactly what we did last week. Instead of doing a podcast, all right, we're going to jump right into Clair Obscur and try to do a huge Clair Obscur stream of 4 hours of gameplay. I figure between then there's another dungeon we just arrived at. We could probably beat that dungeon, get to the next part of the story, advance the story, beat more story. I want to get a big chunk into Clair Obscur tomorrow. And considering the fact that we already beat the optional super dungeon that was 30 plus levels above us, I don't think there's going to be too many problems. All right. You're right. That's not supposed to say Blueprints. That is an error, a typo. I must have accidentally not typed that. That is, I'll explain that in a moment. That is not right. That's supposed to say Night Rain. Clair Obscur with no podcast tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, our Truck Sim stream for the week. Wednesday, there will be a podcast. Blueprints will continue, and more Minecraft will return. That's right, we're doing a bonus Minecraft stream this week. I know I've only been doing Minecraft once a week, but we're doing it twice this week because the stream hit the funding goal last night, and I said, let's do it, okay? Thursday, more Clair Obscur, and the late stream on Thursday, we're actually going to play Elden Ring Night Rain. And you might say, well, how is that possible? I thought it comes out on Friday. It does, but on PC, it's coming out 3 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday. So obviously we can't fit it into this stream because it starts too early, but our late stream can be Night Rain, our very first segment. Then on Friday, once again, I'm going to skip having a podcast, and we're going to jump right into Night Rain. This is not Blueprints. This is Elden Ring Night Rain on Friday. I'll fix that schedule for tonight. So it'll be a big 4+ hours on that stream, plus the 2+ hours from the night before. So 6+ hours of Night Rain within the first day. And then we are going to do Friday night fights on Friday night. And then that's it because I am not streaming on Saturday. Okay. So there you go. That's the schedule. It's a good one. I'm excited for Night Rain. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Night Rain has enough content that this doesn't end up being like a 2-stream game. Because I am concerned about that. I saw what the game was like during the network test. And quite frankly, it was great. It was fun and everything. But, once you've run through the map a couple of times, once you've seen all the bosses, there were 6 bosses available in the network test, plus there were mini bosses. Once you've seen all that, it's like there's nothing else to do. All you can do is replay and try to do a better run and maybe level up your class or try a different class. But I don't know how much fun that's going to be. It's going to turn into that whole kind of Fortnite, Apex Legends style formula where once you drop in and you've seen everything, it's just repetitive. Now, not to say that those games aren't popular. Holy crap, they are. But I think a lot of people are looking at Night Rain thinking, oh, Elden Ring. But the game's not going to play like Elden Ring. It's just not. It'll have the same combat mechanics, but so much else is different with its repetitive nature and grindiness that Elden Ring doesn't really have. So I'm curious how this is going to go. I'm definitely excited to play a lot of it in that first 24 hours. But after those first couple of streams, are people going to want to keep coming by to watch or engage and support with those streams? Also, you got to keep in mind, it's 100% multiplayer. So at all times, I have to be paying attention to Night Rain. I can't be turning and talking with you guys and interacting. I have to be playing Night Rain. So there won't be a lot of chill interaction and talking and fun during those streams. It's going to be basically me playing the game, much like when I do a fighting game or something like that, right? So I am curious how it's going to go. I'm still getting it, and we're getting it on PC. I'm very excited to see how it runs on my PC. I'll be using, hopefully, this brand new gamepad, as we'll talk about in a moment. I think it's going to be a good time. Again, I'm skeptical. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what the game is because they didn't get into the network test. But the network test showed this is not Elden Ring. It's a very different style game. You know what I mean? Okay. So good stuff coming up. All right, now. Yesterday was my demo day or test day for my new controller, which was donated by a viewer. It's called the G5 Pro V2 from Mishinike. That's the name of the company, Mishinike, okay? Or is it Mashinike? I think it's with the A, Mashinike, right? Yeah, here's the instructions. Mashinike gamepad, see that? So, yeah, G5 Pro V2, that's what it's called. So, this gamepad is pretty neat. First off, yes, it has fancy RGBs, okay? And the RGBs are customizable. They can either be solid or they can be pulsating like I have right here, and you could set them to a wide variety of colors. However, the RGBs are basically limited to what's in the controller. You cannot program it to do like special stuff. You can't have it sync with an app. Like I was wondering, could it sync with my RGB app on my computer? The answer is no. So you basically got to manually just do a color scheme, and it's only one color at a time. There's not two colors or anything like that, okay? So, this controller has many different features, all right? Its primary, I would say, attraction or feature is it is very customizable. You can adjust the sensitivity of the thumbsticks. You can adjust the sensitivity and dead zone of the triggers. You can adjust all of the buttons and remap the buttons to do different things. It is customizable in that you can buy more parts for it. The actual top of the controller comes off, okay? And then you can put new components in because you can remove the thumbsticks and stuff like that. So that's all cool, you know. I like that idea. It also has turbo functionality, so you can set certain buttons to be turbo buttons. When you just hold down, they'll keep firing. And you can program macros into it, which is pretty neat. I've never had like a macro controller before. I don't think I would probably use it because that's kind of cheating in a video game. If you have a series of inputs that can be mapped to one button, you're kind of cheating the skill challenge of the game, are you not? A lot of people do it though. Today, a lot of people use macros. All right. So all of that is available in this controller. The controller works with mobile devices like phones and tablets. It works with the Nintendo Switch, and it works with PC. And I believe it also works with the Xbox. Okay. So it works with everything. All right. That's really cool. Comes with an adapter. That's 2.4 gigahertz adapter, but also it links fully via Bluetooth, okay? So it has tons of cool features that I didn't even really understand. Now, it also has extra buttons. For example, it has 2 extra buttons up here and 2 extra buttons down there. However, after testing it over the course of the last 24 hours, sadly, I do have some reports to make about the controller, about its limitations and things that I like and don't like about it. The extra buttons aren't really extra buttons. And that's a little disappointing. What do I mean by that? The extra buttons, all they are clones of other buttons. Okay? So basically, these 2 buttons here are clones of the X and Y button. That's it. These 2 buttons up here are clones of the A and B button. That's it. You can't actually program them to do what you want. And from what I can tell, and maybe someone on the stream knows better than me, you can't deactivate them. And that's kind of a problem. Because as I was playing games yesterday, sometimes my finger would naturally slide to these back buttons and tap it by accident. And it would activate what would happen in the menu. So I was playing Minecraft, and all of a sudden the menu opened. People were like, what happened? My finger tapped the button. You know, so to play with this controller, you would have to actually get so used to not touching these buttons that there's nothing you can really do about it. Now, someone already in chat says, oh, that's not true. You have to map them to do what you want. You're wrong. This controller comes with an app. okay? The app is on your phone. It's Android, iOS. It lets you remap all of the regular buttons. So A, X, Y, B, L1, L2, and the bumpers and the thumbsticks. You cannot remap the extra buttons at all. It doesn't let you. They're not even in the app, as if they don't exist. Okay? So it sucks. I wanted to disable those buttons and not have them, and you can't. You cannot remap the buttons. It sucks. So it's kind of a drawback of the controller. You have to be extra careful when you're playing. Don't grip too hard, or you might activate the buttons and have either the Y or X buttons be activated. Now, for a game where you need to tap those buttons fast, and maybe you could do it faster here, I guess there's an advantage, but I don't really see the advantage. Is a little disappointing in my opinion. Okay? The rumble in this controller is exceptional. The rumble is really strong, like way strong, stronger than the rumble in the Elite 2 controller that I've been using for months. And the other cool thing is, as I said, everything is adjustable. The sensitivity of the joysticks, the sensitivity and dead zone of the triggers, the strength of the rumble motors. You can actually make the left rumble motor stronger and the right rumble motor lighter, or you can turn them off. You have that adjustability in the app. Okay? So, also, because the people will always ask about this, what about battery life? Well, as you can see on the front of the controller, it's got 4 dots, okay? And those dots signify full battery. I played Minecraft last night. At the end of the Minecraft stream, one of the lights was off. When I played Clear Obscure yesterday, which was around 3 hours of gameplay, 2 of the lights were off. So from that, we can probably estimate, on average, you'll probably get about 6 to 8 hours of battery life out of this controller before you have to recharge it. It is rechargeable via USB, but also you can purchase a dock for it that you can put it on top, and it charges on a charging dock, much like most controllers have today. So it's either or, whatever you want to do. Wireless connectivity and signal. Well, I tried it both via Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz signal. Both seemed good. They didn't disconnect. They were smooth. I was doing perfect parrying in Clair Obscur. I didn't have an issue at all. It just seemed to work, okay? The form factor is exactly the same as an Xbox controller. I love that form factor. I love that stick placement. So for me, this is like my kind of controller. It's my style. I prefer this over the PlayStation style. Thumbsticks. They're pretty loose. They're Hall effect thumbsticks, and what that means is that it uses a technology that supposedly these thumbsticks would never have stick drift. Okay, that's good, because I was having an issue with stick drift in Minecraft. If you remember, I'm playing the Java edition with a mod that's allowing me to use a gamepad in the Java edition, which normally wouldn't be able to do that. And when I was playing with my Elite 2 controller, it was stick drifting. Well, I played it last night on here, 0 stick drift. So these sticks do not drift at all, and that's great, okay? So, overall, what did I think about the controller after using it for a day? I love the form factor. I love that it has a texture to the back that gives you a good grip. I think all the buttons were responsive. I liked the thumbsticks. I liked the wireless connectivity. I'll be honest, I liked the silly RGBs. I pretty much like the controller a lot. It's even a lot lighter than my Elite 2 controller. I don't know why the Elite 2 actually is so heavy, but this one is like half the weight of the Elite 2, which is pretty cool. Okay? However, there was one thing going on that I have yet to explain, and I don't know if it's going to be fixed or not. All right? So, when we were playing Clair Obscur, okay? For those who don't know, Clair Obscur is a game that needs a lot of very precise button inputs, because during combat, you either need to dodge or parry, because if you don't, a lot of the times you can get 1 or 2 hit killed if you're fighting tough enemies. So, the buttons were working absolutely flawlessly during combat. I have 0 complaints. I was like, wow, this bumper's working beautifully. And we beat the entire super dungeon and a big tough boss and everything. I was like, wow, this is great. But a very weird thing happened, okay? I was playing Clair Obscur, and the way that it works is when you're either on the overworld or in a dungeon and you're walking around, if you hold down right trigger, you dash, so you move faster. If you don't hold right trigger, you walk kind of slow. So to be honest, it's kind of weird, because I don't know why games even have the walk. How many people played Clair Obscur and just walked normally? No one. Everyone just dashed around, right? So why even have it? Just have you move at that speed the whole time. It's kind of confusing that games still have this meaningless dash, okay? But the weird thing about it was, when I was playing Clair Obscur, my character would dash, then stop, then dash, then stop, then dash, then stop, and they wouldn't consistently dash. Now, the entire time, I was just holding down the button. I never released right trigger, and it was doing this to me. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what could be causing this. This is so bizarre. And by the way, we tried a lot of things. We tried doing the different wireless connections. Like we tried Bluetooth and the 2.4 gigahertz. Then we actually tried direct connecting it with a USB cable. Okay, so in that case, there was no wireless at work. That was just a direct feed from a USB. I did some research and I actually found out wirelessly, this is a 200 megahertz controller. But if you plug it in via USB, it has an ultra high polling rate of 1,000 megahertz. What does all of that mean? I have no clue because I'm not a technical guy. But that's what it said when I researched it online. It says if you want the best performance out of the controller, you should actually use it wired, not wireless. Okay, so what I've done, I actually ordered a long USB cable, and I ordered the good one, the one that's like USB 3.2 and has the highest data rate. So I'm going to try it. All right. Today that cable is arriving, and when it arrives, I'm going to plug it in directly into the front of my PC, and I'm going to see if the controller seems to work a little bit better or whatever. And go from there. Okay? So I guess we'll see how it works, okay? Now, we troubleshooted like crazy in Clair Obscur. We couldn't get the run to keep working, and it was insanely frustrating. Literally, the trigger worked every time we tapped it. It worked. But if we had tried to hold it, it would not stay held, all right? So here's what happened. Between streams, first off, I went into the app, and I found out that the controller had a firmware update. So I loaded the firmware update, and it worked fine, okay? All right, good. I went into Doom the Dark Ages. I booted it up, and I went to the stage where the Doomslayer had just returned from the afterlife. The first thing you do is go into a giant courtyard full of a bunch of enemies. I took out the Ravager, and I let rip, literally holding down the right trigger and not releasing it, and it never interrupted the fire rate. It just kept firing nonstop. Okay, so it's not happening in Doom. Then last night, we played Minecraft. And when we played Minecraft, as you know, there's a lot of mining. And we were in a cave. We were mining a bunch of resources. And the entire time we were doing that, I was holding down right trigger. And it never interrupted. It worked the whole time. So it stands to reason that this should work. There should be no issue. If I boot up Clair Obscur right now, we should be able to dash around and it shouldn't interrupt. Let's find out right now. Why not? That's the beauty of technology, and that's the fun part about the Level 1 podcast. You never know what to expect. Let's pop this sucker open and see if it actually works. Or if this problem persists, that tells me there is something weird with Clair Obscur. Because how is it working in Doom? How is it working in Minecraft, but it doesn't work in Clair Obscur? That's bizarre. So let's see what happens. For the record, I did boot the game up last night to test this before I did the firmware update. So I left the dungeon that we were at, which I believe this is the dungeon. So when we play again tomorrow, I'll just go right back to this dungeon. But let's test it. Ready? So I'm holding it down right now, and I'm running around. It seems to be working. I think we fixed the issue. Oh, okay, he's staggering a little bit right there. But is that the game? That could be the game. See how he's staggering a little bit? So is that the game or is that the controller? I don't know. Now he's going. Now he's hauling ass. So you know what? Do you think it's the game? Let's go into the dungeon. I know the music in this game is gorgeous, isn't it? See how he's staggering a little bit there? But now he's going. So I'm so confused. Let's try it in here because this is where we were having the problem. All right, so here we are. Oh, nope, see? Now I'm still holding the trigger. I didn't release it, and you saw how he stuttered there? He had like a stutter step. So maybe it's just the game. Maybe the whole thing was actually the game. I think what it was a combination. There was a problem because I didn't do the firmware update. Still the Kubo says the game has a weird input recognition. Your left stick has to go maximum in one direction or else your sprint completely stops. So let's test that. I'm holding maximum in a direction. You see that, right? Now let's loosen it. Yeah, you're right. I think that's what it is. I think that the game's sprint is just a little weird. And because this controller has some different input recognition, has that Hall effect and everything, that it reads a little different in the game. So essentially, it's actually not the controller either. The game is just weird. Because again, I played 5 minutes of Doom, the Dark Ages. I beat the entire courtyard, gauntlet of enemies, never had a problem. The controller worked every time, never faltered, never stopped firing. It's so weird. So it looks like it's good. It looks like when we play again. See, right there you saw stuttered as I was turning. Yeah, it looks like as you want to slightly turn, he'll stutter step. There it is. But then he runs smooth otherwise. Okay. Well, I guess it works. Okay, let's get out of here. I guess it works, right? All right, well, that's a good sign because that was the most frustrating thing yesterday. We were trying to play Clear Obscure, and the fact that it just kept having that error over and over, we couldn't even move smoothly through the dungeons. We were freaking out. Like, what the hell? Seems to work. All right, so overall, my first day of playing with this controller, I've absolutely loved it. Really, I did. Like I said, I went ahead and I bought a long USB cable to try it direct connected to see if it even plays a little better. But I really, really enjoy it so far. And I'm looking forward to using it more today for blueprints. Now, tonight we are doing fighting games. I will not use it for fighting games, but I'll be going back to Clair Obscure. I'll be doing a truck simulator. I'll be doing with this week. So I'm going to use it in various different games, and I'll try to get back to everyone with feedback on how I feel about the controller over time. Okay? So there you have it. I might as well turn it off so that way I don't waste the battery since I'm not going to be using it until we play blueprints. I'll turn it off here. There we go. Okay. Yes, the charging dock would probably be very useful as well. So if I use it and I like it, I'll probably buy a charging dock for it as well. The thing is, you can't really get the accessories on Amazon. You have to get them from like third-party websites. So, kind of annoying. I have to go like, freaking AliExpress or something to try to buy the thumbsticks or whatever for it. I like the thumbsticks that are in it, so I probably won't even change them out unless I have to. I guess we'll see. Okay. All right, so good stuff so far. Day one with the G5 Pro V2 has been a good day. I can't wait to use it more today, and I'll let you know more about that, okay? Cool. By the way, I want to say shout out to Baronoli. Baronoli, 48 months as a member, earning their Emerald Crown. Thank you, Baronoli, for 4 years as a supporter of this channel. I very much appreciate you. Okay, so here's the thing, folks. FYI, yesterday, we hit one goal, which is great, and we're on track, if we have support this week, to do our new DSP Tries It by the end of the week. Okay? DSP Tries It will be when we hit 90 goals total. We're at 82 right now, and it's going to be DSP Tries It, the new How to Train Your Dragon meal from Burger King. It actually releases tomorrow, okay? I'm excited for the meal because it's going to have more than one new item. It's going to have a Whopper with a special bun. It's going to have a brand new side, something like fiery mozzarella fries. Also, it's going to have a new drink, which is some kind of a summer lemonade. And then it's going to have a new sundae. So that's like 4 items to try, okay? I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. Haven't done a gimmicked meal since the Minecraft meal 2 months ago. So it'll be good to try something different. What I do like about this meal is that it's actually new items. It's not, oh, we're just repackaging the same items with packaging and charging more. They're actually giving you new food offerings. Okay. Now that releases tomorrow. Let's see how we do this week. If we stay on track and we hit goals every stream, we will absolutely be doing this by Friday. Okay. So let's do it. Let's hit a goal every stream. Let's on Friday do the How to Train Your Dragon meal from Burger King. That would be exciting. And I think that would be good timing as well. It'll be about a week since we did the Red Robin DSP tries it. Okay. Now, for 100 goals hit, we're doing a big special milestone marathon. What is it? I'm still not telling you. I'm going to tell you at the end of this week what the milestone marathon will be. I don't want to spoil it ahead of time, but it is coming up. It's going to be exciting. What I will tell you is that it's a first time thing. I have never done this kind of event before. So I'm very excited to do it. I hope that you guys will join me for it. I think it's going to be a great time. Some people are really, really going to like it. I think others will not like it, to be honest. But I want to try something different. And this is something that I'm doing. It's not letting other people influence it and screw it up. So I think it's going to go well. All right. Good stuff coming. And thank you for your support. Let's get it going. Speaking of which, can we get our first piece of support for today? Can we get our first super chat? How about a tip or a sub over on Kick? Let's get some support rolling today so that we can get that momentum going, get some shout outs going. Now, FYI, let's hang out and let's have a good time on the show today. I really don't have any topics to talk about. And you might say, what? Well, why not? Because gaming news is very dry right now. Why? Well, because Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase and likely other events are right around the corner. So because of that, really no information about games is really coming out right now. It's very, very, very sparse. So, that's why this week I decided, hey, let's not do a podcast tomorrow. Let's skip it and get extra gameplay of Clair Obscur. Hey, let's not do a podcast Friday and instead get much extra gameplay of Elden Ring Night Reign, which everyone's going to want to see at launch, right? So that's what we're doing. Good stuff, all right? But what I'd like to know is, what do you guys want to talk about today? So first of all, let's get some support for the podcast, and let's see what you guys want to talk about today. But before we get to that, I would like to say one quick thing. For those who don't know, today is Memorial Day in the United States. This is a national holiday here, but I know I have an international audience. Not everyone celebrates it, but I want to take a moment to just say, first of all, thank you to anyone out there who serves in the American. Wow, that's a pretty botched thing. Let's try that again. Thanks to everyone out there who serves in the American military. I very much appreciate your service and the sacrifice that you give to keep this country safe and to give us the freedoms that we have. Today on Memorial Day, we take a moment to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, those who didn't come back from their deployments, and to say, thank you so very much. We're never going to forget you. And it is an honor and a privilege to be able to live in the country that you defended and gave your life for. Thank you for that. Okay. If you know anyone today who's in the armed forces, reach out to them and just say thanks. They're going to appreciate it. Trust me. Okay. Okay. Today, traditionally, a lot of people do cookouts and do, holiday get-togethers with their family members. All right. Sadly, for a lot of people in America, today is a day of shopping and drinking. Don't ask me how going out and shopping honors the troops. And don't ask me how getting so inebriated that you're drunk driving and acting like an idiot honors those who serve. It doesn't. But sadly, in America, we tend to turn everything into some kind of a commercialized holiday for yourself rather than for the actual intended purpose. Okay. So I just wanted to say that before we get to an open Q&A and stuff like that. Please, today, say thank you to anyone who you know who has served. And this is sincerely from me to anyone out there who watches me or my content who has served in the armed forces. I salute you and thank you so very much for what you have done for us. Okay. All right. Now moving on. Shall we discuss anything today, my friends? How you doing today, King Michael? Good to see you. Queen of Hearts says she likes the green shirt today, do you? Eddie Bauer. That's right. Eddie Bauer shirt today. I like this one too. Wait a minute. Is this Eddie Bauer? Maybe it's not. What is it? What does that tag say? I don't think it is Eddie Bauer. I think it's LL Bean, actually. I can't read the tag and the tag. There's no tag down here. I think it's LL Bean, actually, not Eddie Bauer. Excuse me. LL Bean shirt. So I think it's the only piece of LL Bean that I own, actually. Did it say J. Crew? Maybe it's J. Crew. I don't even know. It's a nice shirt. It's definitely a nice shirt. Thank you. Oh, I have no idea. If I had to serve in a military branch, which one would I pick? I don't know. You know, everyone has something that's extra, like, specialized, but also pretty difficult. You know, I could swim, but I'm not a good swimmer. So should I be in the Navy? Right? I'll say this: I probably wouldn't be in the Air Force because I have an abnormal fear of heights, just irrational fear of heights. It doesn't make sense. I just have a fear of heights, so I probably couldn't do that. Coast Guard. You can be in the Air Force and not be in the air. I mean, that's true, but what's the point? Why join the Air Force if the goal is not to be in the air? Isn't that what you want to do? Like, nah, the recruitment story is stupid because here's the thing. I've told a story of how when I was in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I went to a recruitment office and there was a very cocky recruiter. And he was so cocky that it actually turned me off from considering enlisting. I was seriously considering it at one point, and then the guy was such a dick that I was just like, I don't want to do it, and I didn't. But I don't want to sit here and tell that story on Memorial Day and be like, oh, that's representative of all who serve. It's not at all. But it just goes to show if you have the wrong person in a position like that, that it could actually change a lot and hinder a lot. And I wonder how many people that guy turned off from recruiting just because he was a cocky dick, you know? We already talked about MREs. I'm not really interested in them. Oh, yeah. Queen of Hearts says, I saw the final Mission Impossible movie. It's a good send-off of the series, but it does kind of leave it open-ended. Huh. I mean, think of it this way. If it weren't for that cocky recruiter, I might have enlisted. I might have engaged in an entire lifetime of military service, in which case I never would have been in competitive Street Fighter. I never would have ever stepped foot on. I probably never would have watched the Angry Video Game Nerd or the Nostalgia Critic. I never would have thought to do a YouTube video. I never would have been engaged in any of this stuff. I would have just been a military guy for my whole life. You know, what a different life that would have been. What an idiot. Someone in chat just says, oh, you wouldn't have been good for the military because you struggle with confrontation. Yes, because the entire time that I was a competitive Street Fighter player, and every single moment I was in a confrontation with opponents, and I was beating them and winning tournaments, and I was performing on a stage in front of thousands of people, and I'm here every single day with a public face. Oh, yeah, I'm really bad at confrontation. You fucking mouth drooler. You stupid dunce. Why do you listen to morons? Yeah, I'm really bad with it. I just can't handle the pressure. You're right. I just crack. Constantly cracking. You got it. Oh, really? Battleduck says, my parents always put enlistment forth as a punishment, saying if you don't go to school, you have to go to the army. Now, looking back at it, I'm thinking maybe it was a missed opportunity. You know? You got to understand, that's a huge sacrifice, right? You're giving up your personal freedoms, and you're risking it all. You have no idea what's going to happen in the world when you enlist, and at any moment, you could end up being deployed into a freaking war zone. And, you know, that's what you're signing up for. That's insane levels of commitment, courage, strength, fortitude, things a lot of people don't have. Wishy-washy, you know, Jello people who can't even fucking take someone spelling their name wrong on their coffee cup at Starbucks, or God forbid someone say something to you on the internet and you get all, oh, I got internet bullied, right? Unbelievable how some people are. So you have to understand that the people who enlist have a level of strength that is very different from the common person. Okay, so what would you guys like to talk about today? Tag me in the chat. And again, it sure would be great to get some support. We have no support whatsoever for the podcast right now. Zero. So anything would be appreciated right now. Let's get some momentum going, and let's see what topics are on your guys' mind today. No, that is absolutely true, Battleduck. He says you also need to support the military people when they come back from deployment. Who defends the defenders? That's a huge problem with our country, is these people go out and spend chunks of their life, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years in the military deployed, and then they come back and there's nothing for them. There's no jobs, because that's a major problem in the United States. There's no fucking good jobs anywhere. So what do? Oh, I worked in the military for 20 years. Now I come back and I'm a fryer, or I mop the floor and I make minimum wage. This is the job you got for me lined up after I was in the military for 20 years. You know, there's nothing for them to do. And, you know, or they come back and they have health problems, and now their healthcare sucks. They can't get the healthcare they need. It's absolutely true that our country does fail a lot of people. It's sad. And then you hear our politicians, and what are they bickering over today? The next piece of shit, nonsensical argument that doesn't matter when there's concrete problems they could be tackling. But this is not a politics show. Let's not go that direction, okay? Tonight we are having turkey hot dogs. Yes, we are. We're actually having turkey hot dogs. Oh, kick support. Thank you again, man. I screwed up again, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I keep screwing this up. Kick support, we're all good. So thank you for reminding me. Dude, I did it again. I'm so happy that kick support does that. Thank you, kick support. Yeah, I keep screwing up. Every time that you do multi-streaming on Kick, you have to type in a command to enable it, and I keep forgetting. They're doing me a solid because if I don't enable it, I don't get paid at all. So they're helping me out. Thank you, Kick support. Appreciate you. I think it's kind of automated though, but thank you. I can unpin it because I just fixed it. Dishonored franchise? I liked Dishonored 1. I didn't really like Dishonored 2. So I don't know. Someone said, should we bring back the Dishonored franchise? Would it be good? I don't know. I feel like Dishonored worked at the time, but that whole like first person looting exploration formula with that kind of stealth and stuff, I don't know if it really works anymore. It worked for a few different games. Like it was working for Deus Ex, but now Deus Ex doesn't exist anymore. It worked for Dishonored. Now Dishonored's gone. So I don't know if it really works moving forward. What is my favorite season? Either spring or fall, preference fall, because I like in between moderate weather. And in the fall, you get all kinds of cool things happening with the season, including, like pumpkin spice and, the leaves change color and you get holidays like Halloween and stuff. So I like the fall a lot. Also, let's be honest, during the fall, there's a lot of cool games that come out. Usually, not always. Like last year was a dud. Last year, the fall was sucked for gaming, but usually it's really good. I usually remember to enable the multi-stream. I'll be honest. That's if Kick asks for feedback, I think what should happen, okay, is when you're streaming, if you're in the partner program, it actually enables multi-streaming automatically, and you have to click on it to say, no, I'm actually only streaming on Kick, because it's kind of very easy to just not think about it and forget it. And right now, the reason I'm remembering is because they're actually coming in and reminding me, but I don't know how long they're going to do that. Because if they don't, then they will just demonetize the whole stream and I won't get paid for it. So, I think Starbucks pumpkin spice is decent. Yeah, it's pretty tasty. Oh, no. No vacation coming anytime soon, RBG overload, which is probably an intrusive question anyway. Because if we were going to go on a vacation, we probably wouldn't tell you anyway. But no, we don't have anything planned right now. Right now, to be honest, the next couple of months for gaming are quite busy. All right. And, we don't, right now, I'm in a position where if things keep going the way they're going right now, and I'm able to have things move forward positively the way that they're going, then I can save up some money. And once I have some money actually saved, then maybe I can say, hey, let's start planning something. But right now, I don't want to just like blow all the money that I have immediately. That'd be pretty dumb, So no, I'm not playing anything right now. See, here we go. Just ban the city. I knew it. Intrusive moron. Fuck off. Stop asking personal questions, you dick. The villain, if you want to know that question, you should watch my playthrough. Don't ask me randomly a question about the plot of Expedition 33. Watch the videos, right? That's what I made them for. If I could go to vacation in Croatia, Serbia, or Greece, which would I pick? The only one I know of those three is Greece. I know about, some pretty nice scenery and also good food. But that's all I know. I don't know about Croatia or Serbia at all. I don't know anything about them. No, I never played World of Tanks. What does SNK stand for? Someone said that the other day in chat. It's some big Japanese name. It's just the name of the company that makes the fighting games. SNK is a company that made a whole line of arcade games back in the day. They made games like Metal Slug, a whole bunch of fighting games like Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, King of Fighters, Last Blade, Samurai Showdown, all those. They also made sports games. There's like baseball games, soccer games. They made all kinds of arcade games, and they would be on these SNK cabinets. SNK Neo Geo was the name of the cabinet, and the cabinet would have multi-games in it. So you could be playing one game, and then They walk away, and the next person comes up. I want to play a sports game. You press a button, it changes the cabinet to be a different game, and you can play that game instead. So it was a way for arcade owners to save space and save money because you could have multiple games in one cabinet. Later on, SNK got more known for their fighting games than anything else because those are what persisted. A lot of those other franchises, like I said, Metal Slug and stuff, they all died out while fighting games like King of Fighters kept going. Will I try out Elena next week? It's a good question, Itzy. Here's the thing, all right? I've been having so much fun playing retro fighting games, right? If you look at all the fighting games that I've played in the last year, I played a lot of Street Fighter 6. Every time I play that game, I get frustrated. I hate the pattern play. I hate the fact that people just sit there in fucking training mode practicing 90% combos, that the game is based on one hit, pushing someone to the corner, and then guessing game for the rest of the game. Nothing about the game is really appealing to me anymore because I grew up at the time when fighting games were actually fucking good, all right? And I'm standing on a soapbox right now, all right? I know I am saying this. I know a lot of people don't agree with me making this statement, okay? But the truth is that modern fighting games are too easy to play, not challenging enough, don't require enough of a skill cap to really play well, and it just becomes how many people just sat there ad nauseum practicing the same combos over and over, rather than the people who have an intelligent, brain cell. It's lame. Back in the day, you needed an incredible amount of game knowledge. You needed reaction time. You needed execution. You needed to know about what's a footsie, or what the hell, spacing, right? Oh my God, zoning, right? Reacting to an anti-air. It's just funny because almost no one can do that shit anymore. Instead, it's all about, I'm just going to fish for one hit, get the one hit, push the opponent to the corner, and I'll just guess for the rest of the round, and that's the whole game. That's not a fighting game. That's one pattern. That's like a pattern recognition game is what it is. That's not what a fighting game was ever meant to be. It actually took so much more skill back in the day to play fighting games competitively than it does today that I watch and play and I get bored to tears. Like I said, I watched one single match from Combo Breaker. I nearly fell the fuck asleep and I closed the stream and I never will watch it again. Like, I just can't stand it. That's what they've done with modern fighting games. They dumb them down to the point where they're just not fun anymore for anyone who knows better, okay? Now, you'll never hear that from the mainstream FGC because they're either ignorant, meaning they never played the good ones from back in the day, or they need the FGC to survive to make money. The figureheads, the big guys from back in the day who are still part of the community, and they won't ever criticize modern Street Fighter because they can't, because if they do and they say it sucks, guess what happens? Oh, the views dip, the money train dries up, and now they have nothing to do because they'd have to get real jobs, okay? So, that's why I don't really like Street Fighter 6 anymore. I still think it's better than Street Fighter 5. I actually do believe the game is better than Street Fighter 5, okay? But I just don't think it's a very good game anymore. That first year, it was great. The second year has been ass, and it's just getting worse. So when you say, well, you're going to play Elena in Street Fighter 6, well, listen, here's what will happen. Elena will come out. For 2 days, she'll be interesting. And then everyone will know everything about her because the entire internet will spoil the character, put the meta up for her, and then she won't matter anymore. This game will have a major rebalance next week where all the characters are supposed to be tweaked and everything. All that information will be on the internet within 24 hours. Everything will be spoiled. And within 1 week, the game will be boring again. The FGC are a bunch of fucking idiots for this. They don't understand that spoiling everything in a fighting game takes away that whole time of discovery that's the most fun part of fighting games, right? Right now, I'm playing Capcom vs. SNK 2. This is a new edition. It's called EO Edition. This was never played competitively online ever. So right now, there's a whole era of discovery for this game that's very fun and exciting. If everyone knew everything about all the changes of the game and it was on the internet in 10 minutes, then the game wouldn't be fun. You see? But that's what the fighting game community doesn't understand. They grew up in an era of instant gratification. Everything you want at your fingertips. You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to learn anything. You just steal everything. That's what they've grown up in. It's pathetic. It's a fucking brat mentality, quite frankly. Because when you call it out and say, why are you spoiling fighting games? You're taking away the fun. What do you mean? No. I would. Well, then, so you suck. So what you're admitting is you suck. You couldn't just play the game and learn for yourself. You need everyone else to hand spoon feed you how to play the game so that you can just sit in training mode and copy it. and then you go online and you get wins and you think that you've earned anything. You've earned nothing. You're a fucking thief. And that's modern fighting games in a nutshell. Okay? So, right now, playing the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, CVS 2 notably, I'm having way more fun than I've had playing Street Fighter 6 in the last year. So right now, that's what I would actually like to focus on. Now, I'm not saying that I will never go back to Street Fighter 6, but to be honest, I don't even think Street Fighter 6 is that interesting to anyone in my audience anymore. The game is 2 years old, right? It's the same old shit. Every time we play, it's the same old shit. Really. The same Cammy gameplay, the same Luke gameplay, the same, it's never changing. So because of that, it stops being fun when everyone's identical, right? The last few Street Fighter streams I did not do well. So I'm not really that excited to play Street Fighter 6 and Elena. I might. Like, if I can't get a Switch 2 and we end up having nothing to do that day, maybe I'll do it, all right? But right now, things are kind of up in the air. I guess we'll find out, all right? I don't know. Maybe I'll just fucking play classic fighting games all day instead. I don't know. But right now, I'm just not too into Street Fighter 6. Frank Castle did a $2 super chat. He says, thoughts on Boss Man Jack doing 3 years in prison. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know who Boss Man Jack is. You guys have been talking about this for 2-3 days in my chat. I don't pay attention. I don't give a shit. If this is internet drama, I know nothing about it, and I'm not involved, and I don't care. All right, so what else do you guys want to talk about? And by the way, again, thank you. That actually was the first contribution to the stream, if you can believe it. Typically, we get more than this for the podcast. It would be great to get some support right now, guys, to get some momentum moving before we start playing Blueprints. You would love to see me kicking ass at EVO. In what? They don't have games at EVO I play. I don't like Street Fighter 6 anymore, so I don't play it. I don't play Tekken anymore. They have all modern fighters. I don't play any of that shit. I don't know what you think I would be playing at EVO. Cabo Barack Obama, why would I buy Street Fighter 6 for the Switch 2? First off, it's not going to run well. If you think it's going to run well on the Switch 2 like it runs on my PC, you're insane. That's number one. Number two, there's no gaming joysticks for the Switch 2. So you'd have to use a gamepad or the freaking Wiimotes to try to play it. Good luck with that. Number three, it's $60. I'm not paying another $60 for Street Fighter 6. I already bought it 3 times. I'm not buying it again. It's insanity. Lovecraftian Arcade asked, did I ever see Austin Powers and did I like the films? I've seen them all 3. The first one genuinely was laugh out loud hilarious in the 90s. The second one was good, but not as good as the first, but still pretty good. The third one was ass. Like, it just wasn't funny. And I think at that point they realized the formula had died out, and that's why they never made another one. Would I ever go to a convention again? Asked Stuart. Well, Stuart, let me ask you this question. Let me answer your question with a question. What would I do at a convention? I'm curious. Well, in what capacity? Are you saying, would I go to a convention as an attendee and enjoy the convention as an attendee? Would I cover the convention as a YouTuber? Or are you saying go to a convention and I'm part of the convention? In what capacity are you talking about? I don't really understand the question. Do a panel. On what planet do you think a convention would give me a panel? I am a small rinky-dink YouTuber who gets 500,000 views a month on YouTube, if I'm lucky. Okay. I'm infamous where everyone on the internet hates me for things that literally haven't happened. Okay. What convention would give me a panel? For the record, back when I was actually a big YouTuber, when I was getting millions upon millions of views a month, all right? Even then, I wasn't guaranteed to get a slot at a convention. If you remember, one year I was at MagFest and I did really well, and the next year they denied me a panel. And I had to basically yell at them and be like, that's fucking disrespectful. Last year I came to your convention. We had tons of people showing up. People were having a great time. And now you're telling me you won't even give me the same thing a second year when I've actually grown? Oh no, we were giving it to Game Grumps. That's the truth. They gave it to Game Grumps. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to understand, I'm not some big YouTuber who's popular and seen in a positive light anymore. No convention is going to give Darkside Phil a panel. Nor would I even know what I would do at said panel. Like, I don't even know. Things are a lot different today than they were back then, that's for sure. Would I consider doing a meet and greet? What's the difference between doing a meet and greet and what we're doing right now? Any day you could just come to my stream and talk to me. Why do you need to meet me in person? Quite honestly, it's an honest question. What's the difference? I I don't think there is one. You can easily come to my stream and just talk to me on any given stream. I'm not a hard guy to reach. So why would you want to go to a convention? See, again, that's what I don't understand. Little Alex Holmes says Little Alex Horn says meeting in person is more meaningful for a fan. It is. Again, for me, it's not. Like I told you guys, I'm not the kind of guy that like I idolize someone to the point where I need to meet them in person, right? Like, for example, Stan Lee. I absolutely respected the living crap out of Stan Lee. I love Marvel Comics. I love the stuff that he did for the comic book industry and for pop culture in general. I think he was a great guy. His cameo appearances were always funny. His interviews that were funny. Everything was good. Stan Lee was at a convention, a Comic-Con that I was at, and there was a giant line to meet him, and I said, I'm not going to wait in that line. I don't care. I mean, what would I even going to say? Hi, Stan. Good to meet you. Shake his hand. Okay, big deal. What's the point? We could probably have a more meaningful conversation right now on this stream than we could have if we met in real life. You understand that, right? Because if I'm at a convention and there's a line of people to meet me, you're going to walk up, say hello, shake my hand, take a picture, get an autograph. You're out of here. Here, we can actually talk and have a conversation back and forth. There's no real time constraint or problem here, right? I think it's easier to do it this way. You might say, well, you get an autograph. What's the point of an autograph? What does that do? What does that symbolize? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Anyone could just scribble their name on a piece of paper. Doesn't mean anything. I would think that right now, if you asked me a question and I gave you 5 minutes of my time to answer your question, that would be more meaningful than you waiting in line for 2 hours at a convention to meet me, shake my hand, take a picture, and get an autograph, and then you're out of there. Don't you think? So that's what I don't understand about the whole fan thing, the whole idol thing, the whole convention thing. I just never understood it. I really didn't. Like, to me, the best part of a convention would be going and learning, perhaps, about new games and things that were coming out. You know, if there's a panel where they're showing gameplay, they're explaining game mechanics of an upcoming game. That's kind of cool. Or getting hands-on with something for the first time. At E3, I got hands-on with a few games, right? Or at some conventions, they have artist alleys where you can actually see all kinds of cool arts and crafts and things you can buy stuff. Gaming marketplaces where you can buy some retro games, right? Or stuff like that. Arcades, sometimes they had a big retro arcade. You could play a whole bunch of fun games. That, to me, is the fun part of a convention. Not, oh, I waited in line to see some guy say hi. He has no idea who I am, and he autographed something for me. What was the point of that? How much would I charge for signing someone's Steam profile page? Nothing. That's ridiculous. I mean, you're right, Eternal. He says meaning is different to different people. You're right. For me, I guess the problem with me is if I don't see value in something, it's very hard to convince me to care about it or do it. You know what I'm saying? And I see like no value. Did I go to certain conventions? Yes, I did. Of course I did back in the day. And meeting fans and shaking their hands and hanging out with them a little bit was kind of fun. All right. But quite frankly, it was very short-lived. That level of popularity and positivity that I had went away really quick, with people on the internet being very toxic towards me and basically turning everything into a negative meme. And I feel like today that would never happen. If I went to a convention, you'd have more people there trying to say, gee, how can we get a memeable moment out of Darkside Phil, right? How can we fuck with him, or how can we piss him off, or how can we do something that we can make a viral video out of, rather than, hey, I just want to meet Phil and have a nice conversation, maybe shake his hand. You know what I mean? Because that's what people do all the time on the internet. They're coming to chat trying to fish a comment out of me, trying to be dicks. I mean, I play a game that literally there's one room in Doom, the Dark Ages, where you have to play it differently because the entire room is a booby trap full of explosive barrels. So I play it differently like everyone has to in that room. But then they clip me and say, I'm bad at Doom. What? But you have to play that room like that. There's no other way to play it because it's full of explosive barrels. Well, it doesn't matter. Take it out of context and Darkside feels bad at games. That's what I mean. People always go out of their way to treat me like dirt. So I know that sadly, if I were to try to do anything in real life at a convention or whatever, you get more just troublemaking assholes than you would get a positive influence. It was different back in the day. Back in the day, oh my God, Phil's going to a convention. Let's go to his panel. We want to talk to him. We want to hear about what projects he's working on, right? Want to shake his hand, hang out, play a few games, which is what we all would do. We go. I remember when they had the retro arcade, people were hanging out with us. We were all playing old games together. It was super fun. Why do people attend sports or concerts if they can watch on TV? Well, concert, you can argue it sounds differently in person, I guess. Like a concert experience to actually hear it, be there in person versus play through digital speakers, digitized is a little different. Sports, well, I guess being a part of the crowd. Like, for example, I've been to a live WWE event, and to hear the roar of the crowd and be part of that when something live is going down feels a lot different than if you're just sitting at home watching from, your TV, especially when it's very hard to replicate that level of excitement and noise and attention that you get when you're there in a crowd in person. So I would argue it's the crowd aspect of replicating something. What we're talking about is a convention, just meet and greet. There's no crowd aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's freaking out, waiting in line to get an autograph. Super Bonchon says, think of all the merch you'd sell if you had a booth at a convention. Not much, because I had a booth at a convention selling Project 7 merch, and we didn't sell that much. We did not sell that much at all. Those shirts ended up being completely unprofitable, and I took a dive on them because I financed them up front, and I didn't make my money back. Wouldn't I want Captain Kirk or Picard's autograph? No, I don't want anyone's autograph. I literally don't want anyone's autograph. I've gotten one autograph in my entire life. I was a kid, and I was into comic books, and I found out that at my local mall, there was going to be a comic book artist that was going to be at the mall. I had no fucking clue who the artist was, okay? And I went there, and I bought a comic book, and the artist signed the comic for me, and I had that for years. I had no idea who this guy was. I think his name was like Lem Straczewski or something like that. I don't know, and to this day, I don't really care. I don't have the comic anymore. I've heard about this game called The Precinct, actually. Isn't it supposed to be like a cop simulator or something? Oh, that is true. Little Alex Horn says you also had the CM Punk plaque. I bought a plaque that was a commemorative CM Punk piece of merch that had a signature. I don't have that anymore. I don't even remember what it was that was in that plaque, actually. I've forgotten. Lem Strignewski is a legend above legends. Yes, Glitter Bomb. Exactly. Be sure to thank veterans and service members today and to take a moment to think about those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for the country. We did already talk about that on the show, but thank you for bringing it up again. Have I thought about playing Euden Chronicles? I'd be interested in it eventually, but remember, over the summertime, I want to play Suikoden 2 HD from the Suikoden HD collection. We played 1, and it was an amazing playthrough, and I want to play the sequel. So that's probably what's on deck next. And then maybe later on we could do Euden Chronicles, which is the spiritual successor. That's a more modern game, right? Do I still have the Genesis Mini? I do, somewhere in the closet. I don't know where. It's somewhere in the closet. Len Straczewski? Maybe that's who it was. Someone says Len Straczewski wrote Starman after Roger Stern. Maybe it was Len Straczewski. That sounds kind of familiar, actually. Maybe that's who it was. But I was a kid, and I had no idea who the guy was whose autograph I was getting. Do I think DLC Radon or Melania was harder? I would say Melania was harder because when you fight Melania in Elden Ring, she literally is on another level than everything else in the game. When you get to Radon, the boss of the DLC, you've seen some shit, including Melania, so you're kind of already on that level of expecting what he's going to throw at you. You know there's more than one phase. You know crazy stuff's about to happen. I just feel like everything else in Elden Ring is easy compared to Melania, seriously. But then Radon, you kind of like have fought other tough stuff. Mozzie, thank you for a $5 super chat. He says, happy Memorial Day, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good and enjoying the day today. Thank you, Mozzie. That's our second contribution of the podcast. Again, everyone, thanks for chilling during the podcast. It would be great to get some support going. We are actually quite slow today on the show. I don't know why. Some days we get great momentum. Today we have almost nothing. It would be great to get a little bit more before we start with blueprints here because we're going to start momentarily. Okay? Yes, I know. Isn't it hilarious how everyone freaked out about the Trump tariffs? Yet all the tariffs have been delayed. Everyone's, prices are going to go crazy and everything. And then all the tariffs have been delayed, which is the whole point of tariffs to begin with, is that it wasn't ever going to go into effect. It was to play chicken with these other countries to get them to budge so that we could come to a more amicable agreement between us. The intention was never to start laying down insanely huge tariffs that would blow up prices worldwide. But people like to freak out and be sensationalist media idiots rather than actually follow facts and, real meaning behind what's going on in politics. Why is there slow mode in Kick Chat when there's usually 50 to 70 people in the chat? Because if I turn off slow mode, people will come in with 20, 30 bot accounts and just spam the entire chat. They already have. That's why. Did I hear Soul Calibur 2 will be on Switch too? Someone had said that, but isn't it just on the Nintendo Online thing, which means no online play? It's just, it's like offline, so it doesn't really matter. All right, well, I think we're going to end the show. I want to say thanks. It was a chill show. Today, I'm eager to try the G5 pad again and see how it works and see if it's any good. Actually, like I said, I have a USB cables coming. I wonder if they got delivered. I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, wow. A lot of people are talking about CVS 2 right now in my my group here who my old friends from the Street Fighter community might try P-Groove tonight. We'll have to see. Oh, wow. They're saying Morgan can parry Dragon Punch and cancel her Dragon Punch into her Raging Demon. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. What's up, Jade? How are you today? He says just stopping by to say what's up. Always good to see you, Jade. You'll be back tonight for CVS 2, I believe, right? All right. Are we good? Let's end the show. Seems like topics have run out. Let's jump into oh, YouTube is not receiving. Guys, I got a problem with my internet right now. What's going on? Are we broadcasting? Yeah. We dropped a whole bunch of frames, but it looks like we're back. Are we okay now? That sucked. It looks like we're back now. Sorry, guys. It looked like my internet actually dropped for a few seconds, and then it came back. I don't know what happened there. That was very odd. Okay, as long as we're good. Are we good? Looks okay. It did dip, but it's working now. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know, my internet. I hope it doesn't keep happening. Okay. Let's end the show and get ready for Blueprints, okay, guys? Thank you for chilling. Great podcast today. Remember, tomorrow, there is no podcast. All right? None. I will be doing a full stream of Clear Obscure Expedition 33 to try to get maximum gameplay and good advancement of the game and the plot. So I hope you'll come back and join me tomorrow for that. But in the meantime, thanks a lot for a great show. I'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you all. See you then, and peace out. Bye-bye.